versus Johnny's Revenge is going to be the mid. Polosan versus Ysera is a matchup you don't want to miss in general. They play such great utility-based heroes, and they can, in any different game, kind of pull the advantage over another. I think Polosan has, just in my opinion, more lane potential, but even still, we've seen Ysera pull some upsets back and forth, and they are really very fun. They play a lot of Invoker, they play a lot of cool, active heroes, and they like to make their mark on the map pretty early on. You mentioned something earlier, is Winter is going to be playing, obviously, captaining as well for Johnny's Revenge, but he has had a long day.
Tired.
Yeah, he has been casting WEC all night long with LD. I guess it's not nighttime by him, but even still, that's a lot of time to commit to casting and then to immediately jump into a game after the fact. Woo, I don't envy his position, but even still, they are a very experienced team with some great skill behind them, and I have great faith in either one of these to actually take the win.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I mean, I've heard rumors, obviously, not even rumors, I've heard of Insidious Idol, and that's about the extent of it. I recognize Ysera and looks like Insidious C there, so I'm looking forward to see what they're going to bring to the table, and of course, Johnny's Revenge. A lot of known players there, Winter, Johnny, Polosan, Sharky, and Chibi, so looking forward to it. Looking at the bans, I mean, it's all fairly standard as the first 4 bans usually are. You've got the Razor and the Death Prophet taken out here by Johnny's Revenge, and the Lycan, which was creeping through yesterday over in the EU games somehow. Got a 5th pick Lycan yesterday, but Lycan banned out first, and Doom behind that. Insidious Idol with the first pick, looking to shake things up, or stay standard. Pick a Sky, pick a Brew, Viper, Void. Void is actually left in, so we might see him. I haven't cast a Void game in a long while, actually.
Yeah, the guy tagged up as Bethel is Chew, and he loves himself some Faces Void, so that's probably going to be their go-to pick. Chegosaurus has played it a little bit before as well, but it depends on how confident they are in it, no matter what. I mean, there are, like you said, some great picks. Ysera, I think Brewmaster is pretty strong too, so I think that's the two that they're deciding on between the two. They're going to go with the Chew Faceless Void, though, and there's a lot to be said about that one. As far as just in general ability to control the team fight and obviously dominate in just damage output, this is a hero that you really want on your side. And I guess Johnny's Revenge, they know the risk, but they feel that Razor and Death Prophet were a little bit more important to ban out. They expected the Void to come out of the first pick, respawn pretty quickly with the Brewmaster Shadow Shaman, and it's back over to Insidious Idol.
Yeah, so they're really not too worried about it. I thought maybe, like, if the first pick places Void, you might pick up the Earthshaker, maybe even Earthshaker Sky. You deny the Sky pick, and then the Earthshaker is really, really good. The Fisher disrupts the Void and the Chrono, but they're not too worried about trying to disrupt the Void for now, and you had to expect the Skywrath coming second, so they weren't worried about giving that away. So Faceless Void, Skywrath Mage, how does that work, I wonder? I don't think we've seen it before, but obviously we will see the big Chrono and then the mini Chrono killing some people. Really good pick-off potential between those two heroes. Just use the ult to kill one person on the Faceless Void. It's not too big of a deal. But Brewmaster looking to shake things up with his Primal Split. Shadow Shaman looking to get a decent time level 6 and maybe start even some Rat Dota just as a support, or maybe even some Death Ball as Dragon Knight getting banned out here by Idol.
Yeah, DK is an interesting ban out considering they do have the Brewmaster already. I'm actually not exactly sure what to make of that. We've seen Polosan pick it up, and I think Chibi has played a little bit too, but overall it seems a little out of place. Like, are you really that afraid of DK plus Brewmaster? They are
Double
tanking.
Dragon, man.
I don't know. It's just like when you consider what that hero brings compared to so many alternatives, it's hard. It's a hard sell for me to consider that one when there are some great supports in the pool that Sharky and Johnny are going to be looking to roam with. And Winter, he has so many great offlane options. Maybe the Brewmaster's in his arsenal, but we know things like the Tide Hunter certainly are, and that just seems like a more apt ban than the Dragon Knight here.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Knight's pretty popular in this scene, but I agree. It's good pushing threat too. Maybe they have a certain mid in mind that you would like to pick Dragon Knight up against, so maybe it's a ban for something further down the line they want to pick, but we'll have to see. Invoker going to be taken out by Johnny's Revenge third, so worried about that teamfight control that you can get from Quas Wax, and even the carry and pushing potential that you can maybe pull out of that Quas Exhort, as we see them go for that Midas Necrobook quite a bit. So trying to stop some of that split push potential, and then Viper is going to be taken out there so that Faceless Void and Skywrath can actually kill the core hero that Johnny's Revenge picks up.
Yeah, the Invoker is good in both the hands of Polosan and Ysera, and although Johnny's Revenge does have first pick in the second phase, they are not looking for the Invoker. I think that Brewmaster is slated for the mid lane, because there's the really... I mean, there are plenty of heroes that Polosan can play, but if he's not wanting an invoker, you gotta assume that he's already taken care of in their minds. So they're either gonna pull out a surprise pick for him, or they're just gonna take the brew that I already have and put him right there. So I expect a Tidehunter to come out pretty quickly here. Tidehunter just makes a lot of sense in my mind. I mean, Faceless Void is decent against him because he can nullify the Kraken Shell entirely. Like, it doesn't matter if you dispel Disables because the Chrono is a permanent one, and of course the passive block effect doesn't work in Chronosphere either. So Faceless Void's good there, but Skywrath might be lacking. I don't know. I really like Tide in general. Seen played by Winter. He pulls out some great Ravages, and it's pretty much his go-to offlane hero.
Yeah, and it would be on Dire's side, so it'd be pretty nice for them. But third pick, and they've got we've got full reserve time in this game. We were running a little late in the first game of the day. If there's any viewers still left over from that are sticking around, they had that penalized reserve time. But here we go, full time, and they're gonna go with an Enigma as the third pick. So gonna just be straight into the jungle with that Enigma. Of course, you know, if the laning situation or rather the jungle situation, if the jungle camps get blocked out, Enigma can transition to the offlane. We even saw some dual offlanes later when that happened with Bat and Centaur. Same thing, could go with Enigma +1. Or he can go into the enemy jungle. Either way, it's a 4 roll that gets more than what a 4 roll should. Whether he puts that to use or he can get off the black holes will be dependent on, of course, the play from Johnny's Revenge and, of course, Insidious Idol. If they can sort of disrupt that Enigma's farm, his flow, interrupt those black holes, and an Ember Spirit is going to come out there. So, hard hero to lock down, but I mean, Black Hole and Shadow Shaman disable is a good start.
Yeah, I think Winter's just been watching a lot of WEC. They've been picking Enigma up a
It's like,
lot
I'm
there.
gonna draft this.
Yeah, he's like, okay, well, IO2000 plays a mean Enigma, drops down some heavy midnight pulses, and maybe we'll be seeing a little bit of that here on this side. Technically, Enigma is a hero that can offlane as well, with the Enigma, the Idol and Deny, and then kind of playing passively and controlling the lane when you're 1v1. But most, like you said, it's just probably going to be a support played by, I would say, Johnny. Sharky just plays so much Shadow Shaman that it seems to be a signature pickup for him. But this Ember Spirit counterpick, like, this is as sticks out as much as the Dragonite ban to me. Is what do they expect to accomplish with this? If they get like the perfect Sleight of Fist Searing Chains, they can actually interrupt Black Hole with that hero. But he's just a hero that's so susceptible to disable, and you've got a Shadow Shaman, a Brewmaster, and an Enigma to pin you down. There are so many ways he can just get stunned out, and his contribution to the team fight can be extremely nullified, or even worse, he could just be insta-gibbed, not able to get off a single spell. Even still, it's something that Ysera likes to pick up for the solo mid, and we'll see if it's going to be a match for the Brewmaster.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Ember Spirit against any sort of strategy where there's summonable units. So you've got the Enigma Eidolons right now. I mean, 25, maybe like 20 to 30 minutes, you pick up the Battle Fury somewhere in there. Obviously, 24, 25 being like the sort of median time where Ember Spirit picks up that Battle Fury, and then you really start to do a lot of damage. So maybe they could have been expecting a bit more of a Zoo strategy coming out, maybe even a Nature's Prophet pick to emerge after that Enigma. I know we saw that a little bit yesterday. It's pretty strong with that push. But also, I mean, Ember Spirit, if he does come online, even if it's a little bit late this game, he's got the Chrono, and he's a hero that can layer up a lot of damage inside of those Chronos, either going all in with your Remnants there, just pouring on the damage, or, you know, just Light of Fist as well as your Flame Guard. Even if you're stuck in it with Flame Guard on, you're doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like this game isn't going to go on long enough for you to even realize like the Battle Fury
True, yeah.
as a main factor. Like he'll get it, but he'll have like one team fight with it. If he gets picked off, if he gets hexed out in it, then you're just that glass cannon like we know and have seen many times for the Ember. So there is a lot of potential to snowball forward, but a team of Johnny's Revenge caliber with them kind of having a lot of skill in their own respective teams and now collaborating in this initiative. Henceforth, I would have to say that just they have so much more potential to just push out, to use their skills wisely to get the tower advantage and kind of death ball from there. I mean, in City Sidle, they do have the Ancient Seal, which is good against all 3 of the first picks for Johnny's Revenge. And the Rubik is really good at stealing things like the Black Hole and even the Primal Split after it concludes, since Brewmaster's animations are so darn long. But if Johnny just drafts for early momentum, they can just run over Insidious Idol, and it's going to be heavily on the Faceless Void to pretty much make every Chronosphere count.
There's an Nature's Prophet ban out, thinking they might sort of just throw that in there with the Eidolons with the
Oh,
trinkets,
boy.
but it's gonna be the Omni Knight coming down here from Johnny's Revenge. So now, if you don't blow up the Omni Knight, or you don't chrono the Omni Knight, he's just gonna cast Guardian Angel, and even if you get a 4-man Chronosphere and Omni Knight's not in it, you can do absolutely nothing. Maybe Skywrath blows somebody up, but even Omni Knight's there with the Repel, and the fact that Omni Knight's in the game might even force Faceless Void to go and build towards a Diffusal, or one of the supports to build towards a Diffusal. I guess Ember Spirit could do it too, right? It's an orb, it should work off a Sleight of Fist, but... well, the mana burn, I'm saying. Obviously, he needs to use the active to purge off whatever Omni Knight could throw on, but interesting pick, and I mean, it's a lot of heal, it's a lot of sustain for this push, and they already got Shadow Shaman, Enigma, and Wraith King, so Omni Knight and Brewmaster, the glue that sort of holds them together in the team fight situations.
Yeah, I definitely think that now the Chronosphere just has to hit on Omni Knight every single time. You have to get a Chrono where you just single him out, because a team fight against him isn't going to be very sound. There's an interesting shift from Dota 1 to Dota 2 for the Omni Knight and Guardian Angel mechanics. It used to give like 9,999 armor as a bonus, and that would be null. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways, it currently does just essentially pure physical immunity, so you just don't take any damage. And the difference there is because Ember Spirit's Battle Furies do enhanced damage. They ignore armor, so even if you have a million, they're still going to be punching right through. So the fact that there's the difference between Dota 1 and Dota 2, I guess it's a coding issue, makes it so that Omni Knight is a very strong pick against Ember Spirit and his attempt to Sleight of Fist Battle Fury. So Insidious will have to draft a little bit early. They finally pick up something that's actually durable in the front lines, and it is going to be Shagasaurus Undying, but this leaves their lanes to be Rubik, Skywrath, Faceless Void on the safe lane, the Sarah, of course, on the Ember Spirit in the mid, and then Undying would be taking that off lane played by Shagasaurus. So they can probably win out lanes if the roaming is really good from Insidious C and Z-Red, but when it comes to that Death Ball, they're going to have to really be on top of their game.
Yeah, I like the Undying pick here. I mean, there's nothing to seriously destroy the tower. I mean, at least in a team fight. Eidolons are going to be pretty okay. Wraith King as well might have to focus it, but I really like the Undying because there's 3 strength core heroes on Johnny's Revenge right now. The Brew, the Omni Knight, and the Wraith King. So taking away their strength not only diminishes their health pool, but it also takes away their right-click damage. Not that they're very dependent on it anyways, besides the Wraith King, but, I mean, it's something, after all. We'll see, though. Interesting picks all around, both the Omni Knight and, I think, the Undying. We'll see how it plays out here as we introduce the teams. If you're just joining us here, twitch.tv/Dota Starladder_EN. This is the last game of the day for the Southeast Asia Starladder. We've got Johnny's Revenge versus Insidious Idol. And on Johnny's Revenge, we've got an Omni Knight going into the offlane with boots and some regen there, going to be played by Winter himself. We've got Sharky on the Shadow Shaman up top. He will be supporting Pelosin in the middle lane on that Brewmaster. Jungling it up, it will be Johnny himself on the Enigma. Looks like he will deny a creep to the offlane with those 4 clarities. And last but not least, we've got Chibi X on the Wraith King carry.
Yep, so they're going to be very active in the early game themselves, but we already see a couple of camps being sentryed out. So the Enigma might have to make rotations into the Radiant Jungle, as you were mentioning. He doesn't want to start there, but doesn't really have much of a choice unless he gets at least one of these camps rewarded. This triangle of camps is really what he's going to be trying to access in the early stages, and that isn't reliable without him just being perfect on the sentry usage. Even then, takes about a minute to get him going. So we have seen a couple ways to make it work. Doing like the demonic conversions on the bottom lane and then farming up ancients a bit. Things like that can help, and also would give Winter some more space and farming potential on bottom. But it's actually going to be maybe some interesting lanes here. We do see Insidious C and Z-Red on the Rubik and Skywrath rotating towards mid. They got the smoke up, and they really want to give Ysera a good start here. It's not the easiest lane against the Brewmaster, but for now they're making the rotation up top. They saw in the Radiant Observer Ward the movement of Sharky. He's going to be an easy kill, maybe Chibi as well, but Sharky first and foremost will scout them out from the high ground, but the lift will come through concussive, and this is going to be a lot of disable, but is the damage there?
I mean, no Arcane Bolt yet, so they don't have a lot of damage, just relying on their right clicks, which, I mean, they pack a punch, these right clicks, 45 and 51, and there it is, the first blood on the Sharky. They get him, and they don't have a lot of damage, but that is one of the squishier heroes at the start of the game there. Sharky on the Shadow Shaman falls, giving up that first blood over to Insidious C, and another slow out onto Chibi. Now, this time the Undying is there, throw down the Tombstone, they will lift him up. Undying is, can't click on him. Tombstone's level 4. Undying is level 2, so he does have the decay, and they will get another kill. And Undying will receive that one. So this offlane Undying starting off really, really strong. Johnny's Revenge losing 2 early.
Yeah. I really hope that Winter goes for Pilot Eyes build. The game that they had the Razor, the Enigma in the last game was so darn effective. Winter really does seem inspired by that draft, but the way Pilot Eye built it was he went for Blink Dagger and Vladimir's, so they got the push behind it with the Aura, and then Blink Dagger. Oh my gosh, is this item so damn good on Omni Knight? Like, I've actually played, I would say, a dozen pub games going Blink Dagger Omni Knight, and people flame every time until they see it in action. You blink on top of somebody with Degen Aura, and there is no escape. I'd put on top of that maybe Midnight Pulse or
I think
something.
maybe get Orb of Venom too.
Yeah. Definitely a valuable pickup there if you're durable enough to keep swinging. And yeah, you just can put the repel on yourself, you can initiate, and they also have this Brewmaster Clap. So they have tons of slowing effects. They can keep people at minimum movement speed, and you just really command the dominant perspective when it comes down to the early skirmishes. And yeah, I think that's what they're looking for, is really momentum behind that to take a tower or two and then go for Roshan, and off of that maybe broach into the tier 2 territory. We do see a concussive shot coming out onto Sharky. They're going to try to get the tombstone on him, but just not fast enough. Sharky is going to take some hits from Z-Red, but he will not fall.
Yeah, I'm going to be running away. By this time with 2 supports for 1, but actually that other Arcane Bolt comes through. Skyrath is level 2, going to keep chasing him down.
Oh, the Fade Bolt?
Wow, that was a big Fade Bolt up the hill there, and he will drop. Sharky going down again, and these supports just pressuring him a lot. You think of Rubik maybe not offering too much damage, but I mean, Fade Bolt, Arcane Bolt, and the squishy support that they're going after, pretty easy kills for now, and they're having a tough time up there. Looking at the Wraith King, is he farming 4 last hits to 14 and 6 on the Undying. And then on the flip side of that, we've got Winter. Where is he at? 13 and 3 to 9 and 5 on Bethel. Who was Bethel again? You said Chu?
Chu, yeah.
Yeah, Chu. 11 and 5. So he's doing okay. I mean, Void, we know these days, doesn't really need a whole lot in the early game. Everyone's kind of changed their mindset around that hero, but I mean, the more farm, the better.
Check out bottom.
Always.
Johnny's going for some creep skipping, but he's going to be converged on a 1 versus 3, and this should be an easy last hit for the Faceless Void. He wants this gold. He's going to get it, 236 in his pocket, and yeah, Johnny just trying to find a place to call home, but creep skipping and creep cutting the bottom lane isn't one of them.
Yeah, and you see the problem here when they put up the jungle wards like that and force the Enigma to go elsewhere. Then you have the Shadow Shaman. He's so susceptible to these, not even ganks. They're just running at him and killing him because they know Enigma's not around. But now that they've run out Enigma, that Enigma greed is finally going to be, I guess, diminished a little bit, because now Enigma can go back into his own jungle. He can help protect that safe lane, and that's exactly what we see Johnny doing. Sentries only last for those 3 minutes, so it was a temporary stay in the enemy jungle. Now he's back home, and hopefully that'll make this top lane go a little bit better for Sharky and also for Chibi.
Yeah, I want to highlight real quick the movement of Insidious C across these past 4 minutes. He's actually been able to accomplish quite a bit. With the boots of speed that he picked up pretty early on, he was able to run down the Shadow Shaman to get that Fade Bolt in. Obviously, like, he wasn't able to get telekinesis because of the range, but like even now he's going to be contributing in mid lane. Polisson doesn't have his ultimate, and with this lift, he's going down for sure. So, like, right now, just the movement of Insidious C as well as Z-Red is accomplishing so much across the map. Insidious C in particular, because he was able to deny a rune pickup from 2 members of JR as well. So, like, he TPs to the bottom lane to respond to the Enigma. He finds the gank opportunities on against JR. He runs down the Shadow Shaman because of movement speed advantage, and now they just have complete domination across the enemy territory, dropping down another sentry where Enigma intends to be farming, and as soon as that camp is gone, it's gone for good. Polisson again in the mid lane, still not having Primal Split. 19 experience away, and 19 experience he will remain. Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, and it was such a perfect time, too, to gank middle. They realized that the Brewmaster is still 5. Ysera's level 5, so he's got the 3 points up in Flame Guard, which means Thunderclap won't take it down. So even after the clap, Ysera's still doing a ton of damage with that level 3 Flame Guard. And then again, there's no Primal Split. He comes back, not really respecting the supports and not expecting to rotate up to block that camp and then come back down. So it gives up another kill, taking 2 deaths at basically the only time he's gankable. I mean, ganks from now on, assuming he hits level 6, which I think he will, means maybe they waste a Primal Split, or maybe the gank doesn't work out and they lose the sort of ensuing skirmish that happens from the Primal Split, and maybe some TP's in, but really, really good timing. And if Insidious do manage to take this game, they're 6-0 now, but the lineup from Johnny's Revenge yet to come online, and a little bit more greedy, not really banking on winning the lanes, although to be honest, their lanes didn't look too weak to me, but Insidious C really putting in the overtime hours right now.
Ysera goes ahead and uses the TP scroll to fuel up with the fountain and immediately Remnant back to mid. Get some good hits on to Polasan. He is just cleaning up this mid lane. With the amount of space that's been created for him, he's able to get a huge
top lane, no, we're going to have Sharky in a bit of trouble again. Now the Tombstone will go down here from Shagasaurus. Winter is also TP, but there's a big black hole from Johnny. He's going to get everybody in the heal. The pure damage from Winter coming out onto Rubik. Rubik does have double damage, but doesn't matter too much. Red in trouble running away. One more little mini stun there from the Enigma will chop him up to get chopped down by the Wraith King. And now Ysera's going to rotate over, throws up the Flame Guard. Now just enough mana on close, and if he wants a Primal Split, he will. And needs to Windwalk that thing right away and try to not get it blocked. Yeah, it'll phase through, and needs to throw up a Tornado. He's really not going to find the Ember Spirit. He's going to be able to jaunt away, but they will get the Rubik. And I mean, all in all, it's not the best first use of Primal Split, but it gets Johnny's revenge on the board, and it's Johnny himself who does it with the big black hole. Winter coming in with the pure damage, and 3 kills for them. 3 for 1 exchange.
Yeah, very, very favorable for them considering their difficult position they've been in to this point. It does leave Chu to farm up on the bottom lane safely, securely. He'll put some damage into the tier 1 tower as well, but yeah, it's just it's interesting to see a black hole come out that early and that effectively. Like, most of the time you won't see a good black hole come out for 20-25 minutes into the game. You technically can rush out a Blink Dagger by like 8 minutes on a just perfectly untouched jungle Enigma, but the blocking from the Sentry Wards, that they're molesting his jungle, and he himself is just generally immobile. So the fact that he can just walk in and hit 3 people with a black hole, absolutely incredible, and they absolutely deserve those kills. We'll see if it's enough to put them back in the game. For now, Shadow Shaman, Sharky, still level 3, and bootsless, at least for the moment.
That's probably what sort of happened. Like, they're disrupting the jungle and the flow of the Enigma so much, they probably wrote him off. Like, oh, Enigma's not going to do anything. He's probably not even level 6 yet. And then here he comes, wrapping around these trees, close to where he's already standing now. Throws out a massive black hole. I thought that Tombstone was going to be enough to clean everyone up, even the Enigma's positioning, catching me off guard, and I can see everything. Maybe I shouldn't admit that. I don't know. It's 7-3 now at about 8 minutes. Enigma leading the CS despite this disruption, and he's up to level 6 right now. His levels are probably the only thing suffering. I don't know. He's about right on track for 8 minutes. 47-2 is his CS. But in the mid lane, man, Ysera's doing incredibly well. 46-6 up top. Shagasaurus in some trouble now on Johnny's Revenge. Their lineup's starting to kick into full force here. Tombstone will be dropped just to be cleaned up. Oh, maybe not if Ysera's going to come through.
He misses the chains.
And force them off. But yeah, he missed the chains. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Hit some creeps, I guess.
Yeah, if he had gotten Sharky there, that would have been really nice. He might have been able to follow up with enough damage with all their stuns on cooldown. But in the end, he wastes a TP, he waddles back to mid lane, and that early momentum is just non-existent now. On the bottom lane, there's going to be a 3-man push, but none of these heroes are really apt at pushing. So if Winter comes in, if they get 1 TP, they should be able to hold this. They still have the Fortify.
That's kind of the problem with Insidious's lineup. Like, it was so strong with the lanes, so strong with the rotating, and you can always just leave that Faceless Void alone, and obviously they did for a long while. They don't have the strongest push. They will eventually get the off-lane tower for the Radiant, which is going to be nice. A stun up, though, in the top lane from Chibi onto Insidious C on the Rubik. He will lift up and throw that Wraith King back a little bit, and they're just going to go ahead and retreat as those awesome greater Eidolons start to chip away at that tower.
Yeah. So they don't do anything to defend the bottom tower, although it was dropping low and 1 TP might have been sufficient. They wanted to put the offensive pressure out. They wanted to actually start taking things off the map instead of just playing reactively. So they go ahead, they try to batter down the top, but all the rotations up there force them back, and in the end they do lose out. I'm not sure if they could have won on both fronts, but I think if they had committed to one or the other, they actually would have had a good shot at it. In either case, the Guardian Angel is up and available. The Primal Split as well, though lacking mana. The Polasan, he's about to head back to base to pick up his Blink Dagger, which he has in just 100 gold.
Yeah, I will say, though, if you're not at a tower ready to defend it ahead of time against the Faceless Void, it's pretty risky to just, like, throw those TPs at the tower, because Faceless Void will see them, they'll just drop the Chrono, and then you're TPing right into basically your demise. So it can be a little risky, and I think that's why they probably choose not to. You can always TP to the tier 2, but maybe still you don't get there in time.
It's more that Winter was just waiting there with his heal available, with Guardian Angel available. There was, I mean, even if you're chronoed, you're going to live.
That's true.
He's going to be outside the bubble. So I think they definitely could have handled it, but they made the decision not to, and Winter just gets some free experience.
Midas comes out for Chu on the Void after a Poor Man's Shield and Power Tread, so Maybe 10.5 minutes. It's not a bad time considering the items he went for, and farming against Omni Knight is never the easiest thing, and it's actually Chu here on the Faceless Void that will lead us in the net worth at 4.6, and then the middle lane, Ysera on the Ember Spirit at 4.2, and Undying. Shagasaurus has had a good game. Has his mech completed right now, but needs it delivered on the Undying at 3.9k, and Brewmaster was having a pretty good lane until he went down 2 times in a row and has managed to recuperate a little bit after finding a kill. Gets his Blink Dagger, sitting at 3.8k net worth, and yeah, pretty much neck and neck for a while on his own team. Winter at about 2.8, pretty close in line with that Rubik, which really goes to show how good of a game Insidious has been having.
Towards top lane, we're going to see the smoke come through. They have the regen rune, they're going to pop it off, and this should be 1 easy kill after another. Could be even 3 if they do it perfectly.
Oh. Yeah, Tombstone's going to go down, though, on the back lines. Chibi is pretty low. He does have his ultimate. Oh, here comes Chu TPing up. We'll throw the black hole right onto Enigma. The Chrono onto Enigma. Enigma, though, wants to get off that black hole. Arcane Bolt damage, though, will bring him down through the Guardian Angel.
He stole it.
It is magic. And what is stolen here? We've got Guardian Angel stolen up by the Rubik, so that's going to be a really, really big deal. He'll throw it out now as, oh, the chain's going to land on both of the heroes. Pelosin down, Chibi down. That's a 5-minute cooldown as well on that reincarnation right now. Ysera with a double kill. It's 10-5, and things go terribly wrong for Johnny's Revenge.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. Winter just didn't have enough mana to put out everything that he wanted to. He wanted Guardian Angel and then heal the Enigma. I think the only way it could have actually worked out was actually him repelling and then Guardian Angeling. But even then, it's only 6 seconds guaranteed. But that's the only way they could have turned it. If they had gotten the immunity in all senses of the word onto the Enigma, then they could have actually gone for that black hole. Instead, he drops down to the magical damage in the midst of the ultimate, and even worse, it gets stolen. Rubik on point, knowing the weakness of Omni Knight is some massive cast animations, and he is going to be able to pick up a very nice spell for himself. So with that in mind, Insidious had to pull very far ahead, and what looked like a squishy lineup is now quite durable as they're picking up some major starting items. Drums up on the Ember Spirit, the Undying there with the heal, and even Rubik with GAs for one more round.
Yeah, might get one more use of that. It's only Spellsteal level 1, so 180-second duration, but definitely enough for it to come off cooldown. He'll have 30 seconds to use it off of cooldown there. 150 on Guardian Angel, 180 on duration of Spellsteal. So, bit of an overlap, and they should definitely try to force an engagement off of that. Ember Spirit, not only does he have the drums, he's got that Perseverance for now, looking to turn that into a Battle Fury as soon as possible. Expected after the 20-minute mark, so a little while to go. Enigma, though, picks up the mechanism, so Johnny with that is going to match the mech up on Shagasaurus. Arcane Boots mech on the Undying. We'll see what he wants to go for. He's got a Belt of Strength. What do you think he's going to turn that into?
That's difficult to call. They're really not worried about like a hard right clicker, so Halberd doesn't seem probable. I think they could just go for a Necro strat and get some
I was thinking Necro
better
too.
Potential there. I don't know. I mean,
They find Ysera and they drop the Serpent Wards for it, and he's able to jaunt away, even though the jaunt brings him back pretty closely to danger, and that's a mistake. Sharky's got to rethink that one. I mean, you have Serpent Wards. You rarely want to drop them outside of enemy tower range. I mean, if they're not going to be able to mount a push now for 110 seconds. I mean, I guess they have the Enigma and the Wraith King aura, but right now the fights are getting pretty difficult, and they know that Guardian Angel is potentially available for this Rubik and is actually available in 4 seconds.
Yeah, and of course, Johnny did finish up his mechanism, but that doesn't compare to an enemy Guardian Angel just counteracting everything they're trying to do. Fortify will come out, and they'll have to decide if they want to commit. They have a mech of their own on the Undying, and they will drop the Tombstone here. With this next free play, if they want this tower, we'll see if they can take it.
Yeah, 20 seconds on the Tombstone. Guardian Angel goes out as Pelosin. As soon as he jumps in, they throw the Guardian Angel. They're trying to keep Chu alive. He will be cycloned up, though, by the Storm Panda. Shagasaurus, they're trying to focus him. He's got a Soul Rip in a couple seconds. Where is that Void? I've lost him in the midst. There he is by that heal, taking that pure damage to the face. And he will go down. They're going to Cyclone up that Ember, see if they can get him. He's got some remnants nearby. Primal Split going to be stolen up by the Rubik. Big plays on this Rubik. Black Hole goes down onto the Brewlings as well as the Shagasaurus. But there's no follow-up to that whatsoever. Now Ysera is just going to cut him down. Oh, maybe not. The heal from Winter still keeps him alive. And then now the mech, he is able to get it off. He will live, and he retreats with that negative urn charge. And it's actually Insidious Idol who have lost 3. Now Sharky falls. Now the Enigma will fall. to this Rubik, and there's no cancellation of that TP available to the poor Omni Knight.
Yeah, just
but what a turn of events there.
The great silences coming up from the Skywrath Mage really making it difficult for Winter to accomplish too much in the team fight. He still did the best he could and obviously made a substantial contribution, but these steals from Insidious C are just out of this world. Getting the Guardian Angel in one fight, the Primal Split in the next. Hell, Black Hole seems to be the trend if he keeps moving forward. I think he wants one of each ultimate as the fights go by. For now, though, they know that with some ultis on cooldown, they could try on the bottom lane, but they have to watch this Chronosphere. Coming in, the Ember Spirit, he doesn't have Cleave, but they do have the Chrono.
Yeah, Guardian Angel available though, so if they don't kill anyone here, and they will actually kill Winter almost immediately. The Spirit's in from Ysera, and he's going to get the Searing Chains onto two. Pelosa, no ultimate, they will. Oh, the evasion almost gets out of there, but a bash cuts him down before he can TP out, and now Chibi reincarnate off the cooldown. It's rank 2 reincarnates, not the longest cooldown. He does have an armlet, does not go for the blink. And let's see if he can armlet toggle his way out of this one, throwing the stun right onto the most valuable target there probably. Insidious C causing them so much pain. And he will be going down once more. They lose 15-9 here for Insidious Idol as they are now mounting that push on the bottom lane. Wraith King down for 30. Tower should also be going down.
Insidious C is a monster in this game. Like, he's a support player that's generally known for his jungle play and micro skills, but his usage of the enemy skills in this case are what's just standing out above all else. He's stealing heals, like right there in that last little skirmish. It might have not even been necessary, but the flair of telekinesing one person, throwing them into the other person, and then heal bombing them with your purification that you just stole. Like, this guy is just pulling this win off with style and really making the plays happen. He's already got his 4-staff up and now has mobility on top of everything we already see from him. It really is on the Rubik and the Skywrath to make this happen. The Skywrath to silence out the Omni Knight, and the Rubik to take advantage of that time frame. It was a great chrono from Chu. He initiated the fight as they needed to, but it wasn't anything flashy compared to what we're seeing from the Grand Mages here.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, the supporting cast here beside the Rubik, because it's clearly a carry Rubik right now, is doing a good job. There's not a lot of disabled. You've got a Wraithfire Blast, you have to expend either Black Hole or Primal Split for any other disable, and then whatever Shadow Shimmy can do, but some of those heroes are silenced. The other ones are in a chrono. Others are trying to kill Undying or killing the Tombstone. Like, their focus is elsewhere, and it's allowing Rubik. I mean, clearly he made the early game his own with those rotations, along with Z-Red here on the Skywrath. But there they go again. Fade Bolt out, and Insidious gets the kill 16-9, and really good performance here overall by Idol. And might even be able to steal this one away before anything comes online for Johnny's Revenge. Still, Black Hole, always a real threat, and that Omni pure damage in that Black Hole, that's going to be really dangerous.
Yeah, right now, in the draft, Johnny's Revenge expected to have early momentum. They expected to be able to take fights left, right, and center. And they still have the potential to hold it with things like Midnight Pulse on the high ground. But right now, they're trading a Tier 1 for a Tier 2. They're extremely behind. And we are going to see that Diffusal Blade come out for the Faceless Void. So when I saw the Yasha, I thought he might shy away from it. That's a lot of gold to put into just basic non-tank items, agility items. But in this case, it's just too valuable. You dispel the Repel, you dispel the Guardian Angel, and you can actually cancel Black Hole. You can actually bring people down. So it's a very nice pickup. I don't think it's going to be able to burn enough mana to actually prevent Chibi from reincarnating, but that's also a possibility.
Oh, maybe if it's in the chrono and it's the only person he's hitting, they'll jump on Pelosin here first. Now they go over to Chibi. Heal coming out, but it didn't look like it did too much. Armlet going to toggle on right now, but he's going to be lifted up, thrown back down before the... Well, he won't be thrown away because the Repel came out, but it's immediately dispelled there. And that's the first charge from Chu. Don't know if it was worth it just to pop the Reincarnate with that spell, and Z-Red will take a fall for it. He's sort of stuck out without a way to retreat.
The pulls on back for this. They have to do something. Can they even get the stun? Oh, man,
yeah,
barely getting the Undying, but even still, he's big, he's tanky, he's decaying everything, but... Yeah, with the buyback there, they really need to make something happen with Polasan. He immediately pings out the Roche, but at least they can take this, but they're down many kills against a hard carry lineup, and I don't know. At this point, like, if you're buying back and you're this far on the defensive, unless you absolutely dominate the next fight, you are in desperation mode.
Yeah, while that was going on in the middle lane, Sharky in the bottom dropped his Serpent Ward, so they won't have the Serpent Wards to help with the Roche, but at least he did get the Tier 2 tower down there. In that bottom lane. So if they go onto the Roshan now, Midnight Pulse can be dropped up as well. I think that actually works on Roche. Deegan Aura works though, and that will reduce the attack speed of Roche. So Omni Knight, not a bad hero to have in this case, and obviously Brewmaster with evasion. Wraith King with the lifesteal. They could maybe have level 1 Roche this game, but obviously they didn't try for it.
Yeah, tough sell. Without anything to summon the Eidolons with, I don't think it could have happened.
Yeah, without the creep wave, that's true.
But even still, yeah, they were really good for it. And yeah, they're getting some items behind them now that they got the gold from the tower from the Roche. We see 3 Blink Daggers coming out, in fact. Polasan, Sharky, and Winter all have Blink Initiation. And that means Chibi doesn't even have to worry about it. He can just go for the raw right-click, maybe Armlet Dezo kind of build up, and they actually make a real impact.
Searing Chains with the Flame Guard and a Battle Fury might be enough to disable some of those blinks, at least if they're trying to save it to blink out of the engagement. But of course, we talked about the blink on Omni Knight as being very, very dangerous in terms of initiation. But they're pretty much dealing with 5-man lineup right now, and I doubt Omni Knight is going to be the first to go in, because if he gets chronoed, the team fight is lost, and they will kill the Wraith King. That's his reincarnate.
No, that's Aegis. That's Aegis gone. It's really.
Oh, his reincarnate's just on cooldown. Yeah. So again, another game where they're giving the core Wraith King Aegis. I don't.
Well, he was on cooldown and it's still gone. Like, it's not about like the decision making there because there's nobody better to put it on. Maybe the Brew, but
yeah, that's true.
The bottom line is that him getting in that position and caught out cost them dearly. No matter who they put it on, it's gone now, and they don't really have great tools to defend this tier 2. Maybe if the Blink Initiation is perfect from Pulsar, but he's in the mid. He's got a TP, then Blink, then Clap, and hope that they haven't been chronoed in the entire time period.
Midnight Pulse, it is pretty good to stop the push, but right now very strong.
Oh, they're just gonna single him out. Pulsar,
oh, if they find him first. There it is, the Silence Mystic Flare with the chains. Really good combo there between those two. It's not enough to bring him down, though. 1600 HP, 7 armor there, negative earn charge. Faceless Void's actually going to get killed in the top. Going to split up that gold. Chibi now going forward with his Blink Dagger, looking for Z-Red, or Z-Red. Won't be very hard to do there, as he will shred him to pieces. And chase him with the Deegan Aura, nicely done. Chibi, though, or Insidious, rather, getting another kill, stealing those shackles, and he will finally fall, but it looks like he did get Pelosin eventually. So good fight for Johnny's Revenge, now only trailing by 4 kills, but yeah, actually they're pretty even on towers too. They're only down 1 tower right now.
Revealing the Shadow Shaman Blink Dagger was the big deal there. Sharky was able to get the full duration shackles on Faceless Void, who was all by himself. Pulsar incidentally split up the fight by making his approach very visible from the mid lane. They're like, okay, we can just pick him off, and they nearly did, but Winter's Heal just barely kept the Brewmaster alive, and then the Faceless Void got dropped down in the interim. Again, no tank items on him just yet, so in general, I really think that JR are pulling this one back up with their Roche play, with the way they've broken up the fights henceforth, but I think that Insidious are going to change their playstyle based on those blinks. They're going to be kind of positioning themselves more carefully, making sure that they can respond to these difficult situations, and even it looks like Rubik is going to go for a kind of a longer range build here. The Aghanim Scepter plus 4 step allows them to steal fast and from far away, and that's the important one, I think.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, just by looking at the graphs, it is still a very, very close game. It was getting a little out of hand at the 11-minute mark with that almost 8,000 gold lead at 11 minutes for Insidious Idol. XP was not quite that much, maybe like 2.5k, 3k at about the 11-minute mark. But since then, Johnny's Revenge has definitely done their part to bring it back. Gold at about equilibrium, and it's Johnny's Revenge who lead in experience by 2k. However, when you see a Faceless Void and an Ember getting this big, it's always a little scary. You're always a little unsure whether or not you can do it, but obviously Johnny's Revenge going to do their best. And, I mean, at the very most, it's a Midas and a Diffusal Blade that Chu was forced to buy. So this Faceless Void is not incredibly strong yet, but, I mean, any good Chrono plus the Ember Spirit should be enough to win a team fight.
Yeah, but he's kind of playing a utility Void, even though he's the top of the net worth. So he gets to fall back on Ysera's damage and still provide what they need in terms of team fight output. As long as he gets the Chrono off and gets one good Purge, that's a single dead target they can guarantee, and from there, Ysera can pretty much clean up the rest. Obviously, there are still a lot of things up in the air, whether or not they're going to get the silence out on Winter, who looks to be progressing towards an Aghanim Scepter next. As well, if they're going to get enough mana burn from the Necronomicon and the Diffusal Blade to bring down Chibi for good, or if he's going to be coming back up. That also changes the fight quite a bit. But how do you feel about this build-up from the Wraith King? He goes Blink Dagger into Hyperstone as his next 2 pickups after the Armlet. I kind of feel like they already have enough Blink, and they just need raw right-click. I mean, Hyperstone's not bad, but we do more frequently see build-ups like the Maelstrom or the Desolator.
Yeah, I guess he's just going for the extra armor aura, maybe to just survive the Chrono, and less so the Chrono, because still a lot of magic damage coming from the Time Lock inside the Chrono, the bashes there from Faceless Void, but maybe just armoring up against the Sleight of Fist damage here from Ysera with that again, Battle Fury, you say, I mean, the cleave ignores armor, but, I mean, if you're not too bunched up, you're not going to be getting cleaved. Just trying to mitigate some of that damage. Maybe add a little bit more push to their lineup with the AC. I mean, it doesn't seem bad. It doesn't seem fantastic. We'll see if it works. He definitely attacks pretty quick, though, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah, definitely has a lot going, but it is going to be the full AC. So heroes like Brewmaster and Omni Knight, who traditionally pick up AC more frequently, are not going to really go for that option. They'll be trying to figure out what they want after the Aghanim Scepters, but I guess that they're just going to be happy if they can get to that Ag's range, because when you get that Guardian Angel with that massive duration via Aghanims, it goes up to 10 seconds at level 16 and is global, so you don't have to worry about being in the fight and getting silenced as much. And along with that,
refresher.
And of course,
20 seconds.
The Brewmaster, you get a lot of utility out of that too. But Faceless Void Manta style, pretty interesting because the illusions, of course, work through the Chronosphere. But I think most of it is just about dispelling the debuffs, the Malefist, the Drunken Haze, things of that nature. And Shagasaurus not in a great spot. This could be Johnny's revenge fight to take.
Yeah, it's a nice chrono, though. They drop the Mystic Flare on top of Johnny. Johnny silenced up. Even with the amp damage, he won't go down. BKB, Guardian Angel, everything. He's slow, though, running through here, trying to get off the black hole. Won't be able to. It's actually Chibi who falls. The hero they jumped on, that Undying, still alive. It's the core Wraith King at the end of the day who has died after that chrono. Pelosa now also going to get caught out. Ancient Seal going. Looking for the bashes, the stuns, everything. Oh, that Wraithfire Blast stolen up from Insidious. Even going to get the kill once more. 8, 2, and 10 on this Rubik, leading the KDA. Next in line is 6, 4, and 4 for that Wraith King, and then 4, 1, and 7 for the Ember. And they also fire up the wards here.
Yeah, I mean, he started out as this roaming hard support, so the fact that they were able to buy Sentry Wards up and destroy Enigma's jungle, and on top of that, farm up as a prime player here, it's pretty insane. But the big unfortunate thing was the mana burn against Wraith King. Chibi not being able to reincarnate in that fight just cost them dearly. If they had the Wraith King back up and had the reincarnation slow as well, I really think they could have turned that back around. But as it was, the Chronosphere was very effective. The Undying survived, as you mentioned, and from there, if you can't kill him and you lose your main damage dealer, the fight's pretty much already lost.
I'm trying to figure out why the Enigma was so slow. Was it just the Flesh Golem from Undying slowing
I
him
didn't
down,
catch that, to be honest, so I couldn't tell you.
Maybe I was just my brain expecting him to close the gap and then just ran away. It looks like he was being slowed from something and walking through the... Oh, he might have been at the... That's what it was. The Tombstone health threshold, I think, slowed him down. Because he seemed like he was crawling through there. I thought Rubik stole Deganora. I mean, if anyone can, it's probably Insidious C that can manage to steal some passives.
Nice. He's going to have his Aghanim Scepter up pretty soon. That would be an interesting addition, being able to steal auras and passives with your Aghanims. I don't even know how you'd manage that,
This will
though.
be the second game in a row we've had a Rubik with Ags.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. I mean, people look at Aghanim Scepter upgrades and like, okay, well, this is huge on Disruptor, this is huge on Enigma, but Rubik gets all of them. He gets the upgraded Primal Split, he gets the upgraded Omni Knight Ultimate, the upgraded Mass Serpent Wards, and the massive range, and the 5-second cooldown. It's just an absurd item to pick up on him. Difficult to manage, but Insidious C, with this kind of kill potential, has just been racking up the gold, and he will have it at only 30 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I mean, in a game like this, even if Insidious didn't have that great start for himself, you might even want to give your Rubik some farm priority to pick up the Ags, because fantastic upgrades from everyone except for the Wraith King, because he doesn't have any.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be unreal.
It is worth noting that Johnny's Revenge lineup is a little bit better at dealing with the Guardian Angel than Insidious Idols is. So even if he does steal Guardian Angel, Polasan can use the Wind Panda to get that AoE Dispel, the Mass Dispel, and that should be able to negate the targets they want to focus down.
Small AoE. But maybe, yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to hit all 5 or anything, but they can still focus 2 or 3 people that they want to, and it's not going to be as big of a game breaker as if the Faceless Void just diffusals. But
you can maybe hit all 5 if there's a big 5-man black hole this game.
Well, yeah, fingers crossed for John's Revenge. They're in a point in this game where they have to rely on the big plays to happen. But for now, it's just going to be a Roche sneak. Oh, look at the timer on that Roche. That is an insanely long spawn. 10 minutes, 50 seconds. Yeah, there's going to be some time on that one.
Yeah, and time to get some more items. We actually have quite a few coming out here. The Force Staff now for Sharky. Wraith King will finish up that Assault Cuirass, and the Aghanim Scepter is going to come out on Pelosin all at the same time, right before the 30-minute mark, and right in time for that Roshan fight. Could be a area of contention in the next couple minutes as soon as they realize it's up. Obviously, Insidious, I don't know it's not there and realize it's going to be a long one, but it could be any second, so gonna maybe keep checking. You can maybe even put a remnant in there. Good place for Ysera to retreat, and you keep that vision up there for, what is it, 45 seconds? 35 seconds.
30.
No. I don't know anything about Ember, apparently. 45.
Yeah, one way or another. It's not as big of a deal as like remnant timings for, replicate timings for Morphling and stuff like that, where you only have one and you rely on that exact one to be alive at the time you expect it to. But yeah, I usually just keep an eye on the buff timer, and that's
trying
plenty.
to gank Chu in the middle lane right now. Primal Split will go off. The Hex, everything, trying to keep him disabled. Oh, the Force Staff's there defensively, but the Shackles will go out, and he's able to get away from it. He's going to Manta and jump away, and no, he cannot TP out. The Boulder comes through. Brewmaster will pick up that kill now on the backside of the fight. We've got Omni Knight, everyone trying to bring down that Tombstone, but here comes Ember onto the Brewlings. Brewling Pelosi now going to jump away. And they will pick off the Void.
The Bruce
and get out pretty much scot-free right now.
Prevent steals.
All the wards are going to be dropped here by Sharky trying to kill Shagasaurus, and they will. So they get 2, but Serpent Wards dropped, which means either slower push or slower Roche, deciding, or depending on what they decide to do. It looks like they're backing off for now. Maybe Pelosi going to go over and check the Roshan, and looks like they can get the second one. Second Roche for Johnny's Revenge.
Yeah.
Don't think it can really be contested.
Right now, the last spell cast for Brewmaster was Primal Split, and Shadow Shaman just covered up his Mass Serpent Wards with Ether Shock. So Insidious C had actually a decent window to pick something up, but in the end, they're all in the pit, they're all out of vision, and they are just going to be able to do their thing here with the Roshan. So from here, Aegis going to, I guess, the Wraith King again. Maybe the Omni Knight's actually a pretty valuable carrier, but in this case, Wraith King will be the one they prioritize. So Chibi, he's got, I usually say 3 lives, but potentially just 2 with all that mana burn.
Yeah, that's true. What level is that Necro now? It's up to Necronomicon level 3 for the Undying, and of course the Diffusal. Still level 1, only 2 charges of it used, and actually Chu was going for a BKB as well. So BKB Manta, it's an okay offensive item and okay for split pushing. Not the best by any means, but it adds a bit of dexterity, and he picks up that BKB as well. So doubling up a little bit on the defensive items. Ysera, though, big purchase. Had that Battle Fury actually a couple minutes before the average time, and now he's got a Daedalus, also that Aghanim Scepter coming out for Insidious C on the Rubik that we've been talking quite a bit about this game. What else? Blink Dagger on Enigma is that other big. 5 Blink Daggers on the side of Johnny's Revenge. Not a 1 on Insidious Idol. They go for the defensive 4 staves. Well, actually, just one of those 2.
This could be the big fight here. Unfortunately, the tower's so damn low that it doesn't look like they have any reason to try to defend this. Like 3 right clicks and it goes down. So, yeah, if this was like a half HP or 3/4 HP tower, I think there would have been a really big, cool fight there because there are so many great items on the field now. The Blink, BKB for the Enigma and so on. But in this case here, just got to wait it out. You're going to see the push on the top lane. The Midnight Pulse will probably drop down soon, and then they'll try to play very reactively based on the enemy positioning. For now, it's going to be a spell steal of Drunken Haze. Pretty solid against the Wraith King, considering he didn't go for any anti-haze items. So, yeah, if you can get that out there long range, it's only going to be the Repel to keep him up and fighting.
Yeah, it's actually going to be really nice. That's a really good spell steal for Rubik. Try to keep down that. Basically, the only right click right now is Chibi. So, although he could strategically just die after the Drunken Haze and respawn and not have it anymore. But it's not a big cooldown, only 8 seconds on Insidious, so probably not what he wants to do. Instead, they're going to smoke up and look for a pickoff. I mean, their lanes, bottom is definitely pushing out. They already forced one of the TPs back. Someone from Insidious Idol had to go there and defend. Looks like that was Ysera. Still with Phase Boots, might want to go Travel as his next item, maybe another Battle Fury, maybe more Crit. I mean, pretty much every choice you can make on Ember Spirit's a good one, but this 5-man smoke coming through now.
Nope.
They're pretty scared. Insidious Idol, they go all the way back to their tier 2, like the furthest point on the map away.
Oh, but this Observer Ward, they know, and they're going to get a great flank here. They should be able to pick off all the stragglers.
And the first straggler is going to be arguably the most important. Oh, he will blink in and throw out the Primal Split almost immediately. Tombstone is down from Shagasaurus Rex. They're going for this Rubik. He will Force Staff away and then take the boulder to the face. Tombstone brought down. Repel there onto the Wraith King. Primal Split. The Brewling still doing as much as they can. There's a BKB from Chu. He will land it onto Chibi. The Skywrath blows up almost immediately on the side of this. Black Hole, though, onto 2 of the most important targets this game, stopping the Chrono before it could really get all of its damage in. and now the Serpent Wards have also been dropped for this team fight. They bring down 2. They will lose the Shadow Shaman. Aegis reclaimed in 3 minutes, but not even going to need it here, as they will blow up that Undying as well. And even the stun onto Insidious. This kill is going to feel good. He has caused them so much pain. It might not be for free, though. This guy is pretty tanky after all. He's throwing Drunken Haze. I think he got it onto about everybody there. And blinking in 1 second will disjoint and keep the Reincarnate up there for Chibi.
Yeah. For all his great plays this game, I'm not exactly sure why the Rubik chose to fight then. He either should have fought with his team when they dropped the Chronosphere, or he shouldn't have fought at all. In this case, he just goes ahead, YOLO solo, and does get dropped down. The only one that will fall for JR is the Shadow Shaman, and Wraith King still has that Aegis as well as Reincarnate if he doesn't get burned just a little bit. He's actually pretty low.
Yeah, his mana is definitely dropping, but even if that happens, he still has the Aegis, so he won't have the benefits of the Reincarnate, the AoE slow and attack speed slow, but at least he'll respawn again, full mana, full HP. And he's got the armlet toggles here too, so at least he won't die to any of those straight arcane bolts that do disjoint. And the tower will go down to the creeps. Actually, Ember Spirit going to deny it.
So, a big swing here. If you look at the experience graph before that, it was flip-flopping all over the place. Johnny's Revenge were up and down and up and down, but when they got a decent lead, their highest lead to that point in the game, that's when they forced the issue with the Aegis, and they got that perfect flank off. The Observer Wards have been really good from Johnny's Revenge. There's a couple I wanted to highlight, but the game's just been going so fast-paced that it's hard to cover each and every one of them, but there was one in the mid lane that actually allowed them to get the long distance stun on Void when he was TPing out of the second to last fight, and then there was this Observer Ward that allowed them to get the flank just most recently. So really good active wards, great vision from Johnny's Revenge. It's kind of fallen apart now, but just historically they've been getting the map covered exactly where they need it to.
Yeah, and there's aggressive forts on both sides right now. One still planted here in the jungle, and I don't know if this one was dewarded or just ran out or what. But Winter, or someone must have seen this ward place, because they just walk over and deward it. The High Cliff is also spotted out here for Insidious Idol as well. The farming commences right now. Great team fight, great push there, taking a tier 3 tower down for Johnny's Revenge. Aghanims, yeah, Aghanim's coming out for the Enigma right now, so he won't be the only one with the potential Aghanim's Black Hole. I mean, Rubik, of course, can steal it. Hasn't managed to yet.
Oh yeah, I even forgot to mention that. I listed off all of them, but I neglected Enigma because his addition is so recent. But you should be able to get the bonus damage from, as in City C, you should be able to get the bonus damage from Enigma based on his current level of Midnight Pulse. So both of them going to be able to really benefit from that, and my goodness, is it a great combo, especially with the natural spell. When you cast Midnight Pulse on top of your own Black Hole, a Veil of Discord, you can essentially 1v5. You can bring them from 100 to 0 within that duration, or just seconds after. So it is really, really powerful, and we'll see if you can pull it off. In the meantime, the Aegis will expire, but they are just taking this aggressive stance and trying to cut off Insidious from farming.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, if Void is pretty much not the opposite edge of his Chrono to the Enigma, Enigma can, repel or BKB. He's got both options available to him. And Black Hole, and pull that Enigma, or excuse me, pull the Faceless Void in, like we saw in that fight there in that top lane, which again had that fantastic Observer Ward to spot everything out there. So Johnny's Revenge, they trail by 1 kill right now, but the net worth has definitely shuffled up quite a bit. It's the Ember who is still out front, that's Ysera 18.4, but it's Chibi 18.1 on the Wraith King, close on his heels. And the Faceless Void, 17.4 net worth, but not really your Faceless Void items. I mean, he's forced to go the Diffusal this game. He got a Manta, which was interesting, but also kind of helps against the Brewmaster. So the skill set from Johnny's Revenge forces weird items from Chu.
Pulse on.
And he doesn't really feel that strong, and yeah, Polosin's definitely going to be in a lot of trouble.
No, he gets the split off.
I don't know where the Silent was. The Tombstone is going to be dropped down. Now the Boulder's going out. The rest of the team is trying to mobilize here. Ysera waiting along in the side of the trees as the Brewlings again continue to cause some havoc right now, and they will go on to that Necro Warrior. They bring it down quickly. Ysera is going to find out Sharky, and Sharky in a bit of trouble. Will be healed up now.
Wow.
And still going to be chased down, but look at this Black Hole on the backside of things. Going to land on 3, stopping that Chrono basically in its tracks, and they will they will still get Chibi again. The bash, the magic damage going through that Guardian Angel. That's the second time that's happened to the poor Wraith King, and he actually goes down. Doesn't have an Aegis and didn't have mana for his ultimate because of the maybe the Necro was still there, but also the Diffusal on Void. And they canceled the TP at the last second. Chu rather will go down, and the sheep up here onto red. Did Sharky not die to Ysera?
I don't know, man. It was.
No, I guess not. He must have made his
Yeah.
way down here, and Ysera was forced to back off.
Yeah, he survived through it, and yeah, they were the full 5-on-5 just really is trumped by what Johnny's Revenge bring here. The Aghanim Scepter on Omni Knight gives a global effect, so even if he's not right next to Sharky, he's going to be able to get that immunity and that healing up for him. So it's really hard to kill anybody. Even the squishy Shadow Shaman is just not easy to bring down, and yeah, that's Winter having this much farm behind him. You would look at Insidious Idol's lineup and say, okay, they have 2 super late game carries who can do a ton, but the bottom line is Enigma and Omni Knight, with the right usage of their ultimates, are really high potential in the late game as well. And although they're kind of lacking damage as the Wraith King keeps on actually dying in full, it still is really good fights for them as a whole, and they're definitely just edging back in, and this forces out
Divine
a
Rapier.
big, bold play from Ysera.
I mean, we've definitely seen, Divine Rapier and Ember Spirit in my mind go to Ferrari 430. But we'll see what Ysera can go ahead and do with this. I mean, it's a big pickup. That being said, it's not going to matter against Guardian's Angel in another 50 seconds. Maybe some of the cleave damage will go through and blow someone up, maybe one of the supports. But it's still going to be a hard game, and you can see they feel so not being able to win these last couple team fights, losing their sizable advantage they had up at 11 minutes. But once Johnny's Revenge sort of laning stopped and their heroes kicked in with some of their item pickups, it's been mostly Johnny's Revenge this game. And maybe a few primal splits that shouldn't have happened. I don't know what the Skywrath is doing with that silence, but Pelosin's also doing quite well on the brew for Johnny's Revenge, helping those team fights to start off.
One confusing aspect of when that gank happened early on, or with that last smoke coming out from Insidious Idol, is that Poloson had an illusion right next to him. And so seeing 2
maybe
pandas
that's
there,
what it
not
was.
being 100% which one broke your smoke, there might be just a moment's hesitation of force staffing forward and getting that silence. He was already in kind of the middle of the pack as far as that approach. So I could definitely see that primal split coming out. Just the reaction from him is going to be faster than that of the Sky in that circumstance. Another late Roche spawn, though. This is...
Say.
What, 10.5 minutes? Man, these are just taking their time here, but it favors Johnny's Revenge in general just to have Roche up very soon because they do have that Midnight Pulse, BKB Black Hole, and there's just nothing Insidious Idol can do short of actually critting everybody down with Ysera's Divine Rapier or Insidious stealing the Black Hole for himself. The Chronosphere is there too, but Chu's been initiating fights with that so far because they lack any other kinds of initiation.
Well, they might find a... No, I think we're going to blink out. And there's a BKB Chronosphere coming out here, and the Omni's going to get blown up almost immediately, and buyback on neither of them, so he can't just, buy back and throw out his ultimate. Chibi will live this time, at least for now, trying to run away. Does have that Armlet Toggle looking to chase down that Skywrath Shagasaurus in some trouble, maybe to
the
that
Panda?
Earth Bruling.
No!
Oh, they will actually get it. The Panda, though, goes down. All the Brulings killed. And no, actually looks like he maybe morphed back there at the tail end of it, but now Chu looking for Johnny. Johnny going to BKB and blink away, so he will stay alive. And, well, when Enigma gets forced away like that, and then the Chronosphere goes down, it's definitely still team fight winnable, or even just winnable.
Enigma's gone. He gets caught out by the Searing Chains. He just can't escape their movement speed. Once they pop those drums, they're just too quick on their feet, and they just obliterated there. A very important thing to note is how effective an Ember Spirit is DPSing with a Faceless Void. You usually look at a dual melee with a Faceless Void and you're like, oh, they can't get close, they can't do anything. But Ysera's got that sleight of fist. He can sit outside the bubble, hit everybody from within, and man, his crits were very legit there. They were able to just absolutely slaughter the Omni Knight, and from there the fight gets extremely difficult. The Brewmaster durability isn't really there with the Pandas. You have to essentially immediately Wind Walk your Wind Panda out because your other ones aren't going to live through the entire duration. Anyways, the big thing here is that the Roche wasn't up when JR wanted it, and now it's going to be picked up by Insidious Idol. Cheese and Aegis hitting the deck, and a Divine Rapier Aegis is something that you do not want to go up against in any game.
Yeah, that's a really big pickup for Insidious Idol right now. They've got that Divine Rapier, which leads to that last teamfight victory. Also, the fact that the Enigma was sort of herded away was really big. No black hole there. Now that they've got the Aegis on top of that, Ember Spirit able to take a death before he will even drop down the Divine Rapier. And they might not even be able to kill him because he's probably just going to kill them all first. The Brulings at this point are almost a liability to Divine Rapier damage. Like, they go down pretty quickly. Pelosin getting to the point where he might be better off just staying in his regular form.
As long as he micros out the Wind Panda, he's going to survive, but
Yeah.
he has to be on the defensive immediately with that. Just one Tornado, one Wind Walk, and run, because you're not going to be able to live through it with the Earth and the Fire. But anyways, yeah, when it comes down to it, the aspect of cleave is definitely legitimate outside of Guardian Angel. Having to deal with all that damage output is frustrating, but they have the tool to deal with it. If Omni Knight does not get silenced, if he opens with Repel on himself, whatever, he can Guardian Angel, and it will prevent the cleave damage. So that's the important thing here. We'll see if it's enough to hold, but a 10-second BKB on a Divine, Daedalus, Battle Fury, Aegis, Ember Spirit, it doesn't get bigger than this. Like, you can sell the phase boots for either BOTs or another Rapier, but this is critical mass, and it's only the Omni Knight or the Black Holes that will keep them in this at all.
Yep, pretty much. And we'll see if they can do it. 5-man grouped up here by Insidious Idol. I mean, it's pretty much 5-man total from both teams at this point. Maybe the Wraith King trying to do a little bit in the top lane. Even scared to go past onto the low ground here. This little valley of death in between your base and into the lane. And that's exactly where Insidious Idol are heading. They will even be finding some wards right now. They got that gem that Enigma dropped out. They got the cheese on Chu, the Aegis on Ysera. They're ready to go. Some nice defensive force staffs, and let's not forget the Rapier.
The 5-man smoke was pretty clear from Insidious Idol. Like you said, he's towing that line. The Wraith King doesn't want to go to farm out, but yeah, they don't have much ward vision, and the fact that they're fighting against the Aegis means the only a team fight that will work is inside their own base. They do have the Guardian Angel on global sense, so Omni Knight can kind of stay out of the fight at first and then blink in later. So that does favor them because he's not going to get chronoed if he's smart about it. So Winter in this position has essentially what is a 10-second fortification on top of their 5 seconds, and of course a team fight winning ult if he can just get it off. But still, they have the focus fire in general with the Diffusal Blade on Chu, now at rank 2 to burn even more mana. They really do have the tools they need to finish it off, but I think if I was in City's Idol, I'd still be looking for more Purge. I'd still be looking for more Diffusal Blades because one is great, but it's still like we've seen 5 heroes being affected, and if you can only bring down one, then Johnny's Revenge still gets to run away with the other 4 heroes. So you don't want to take any risks with a Divine Rapier because it's such a big risk in of itself, and I don't know. They have to make something happen within the first 6 minutes. Obviously, they need to make use of the Aegis, but all the same, if they are walking right into a Guardian Angel, then they still don't have the upper hand.
Well, it looks like Johnny's Revenge. I mean, they're sitting in the base for the last 2 minutes. They're content to pretty much do nothing for 6 minutes while maybe this Aegis runs out here. And looking over at the Roche, we've got 2.5 minutes left on that Aegis. So they're going to farm up some Ancients here as a team. They'd be careful not to get caught out. They see the Ember in the bottom lane. At this point in the game, you see Ember, you know the entire team is there. And immediately they kill the Ancients, they start backing up completely. Maybe going to push out the mid lane a little bit. Just keeping eyes on where the Ember is. If Ember disappears, they'll probably all retreat right back into the base. And, well, yeah, they don't see him right now, but as soon as he comes up with the creep wave, we maybe see them move out to farm top. But even then, it could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, if we're talking, we're already very far into the late game, but if this gets dragged out even more, oh, maybe not. Chibi farming up Ancients, Chegosaurus will not meander that direction. It looks like Chegosaurus sees him, Chibi!
They're like, no one will be there, that'd be crazy.
Can they cancel the TP? No. Oh my goodness. But yeah, if this push is delayed out, the Aegis breaks, and City Side will go back to farming, and this goes into a hyper late game where we have to look into things like, will Winter be able to farm up the Refresher Orb for a second Guardian Angel? Will there be Divine Rapier buybacks where Ysera has Divine Rapiers in his stash to try to make sure that he always has that extra damage output? And the ever-impending question, will Wraith King be able to ball out of control, pick up a Refresher Orb of his own?
Well, he's 5,000 gold to the bank on top of that new Mjolnir he's finished up completely. So Blink, Mjolnir, AC, Treads, TP. You need a TP. Maybe you can get rid of the Treads, go Boots of Travel. So one more slot to fill up. You can maybe get rid of the Blink Dagger too, but I feel like the initiation and mobility is pretty key. Although there's no shortage of Blink Daggers on Johnny's Revenge. What items would you like to see the Wraith King go for next?
I would like to see Treads into BOTs, extra slot freed up into Abyssal Blade, and then from there, probably a Satanic for the Blink Dagger. And I think that would give you enough raw HP that even if they bring you down all those different times, that you're okay with going down. I don't know. Maybe you could go for something more utility-oriented. If you get a Shivas, you won't have to worry about the mana burn. You can guarantee...
What about even a BKBs?
BKB does nullify that as well, so that's pretty good. But they don't really they don't have Disable beyond as far as magical-oriented output. You're still worried about this Divine Rapier. You still have to deal with him. So Abyssal first and foremost because you have to kill off the Ember. And I don't know. BKB is an answer, but Shiva's Guard might be just perfectly as good.
Yeah, speaking of BKB, one's going to come up on Ysera right now. Only a minute remaining on that Aegis, but this 10-second BKB could maybe be enough to keep him alive. There's not a lot of physical damage besides the Wraith King, but obviously Enigma isn't too worried about that BKB. He's still got that black hole. And Omni Knight, again, has 10 seconds of mostly invulnerability except to that magic damage. And the time locks that keep bringing down the Wraith King while he's affected by the Guardian Angel. So maybe they match us up perfectly. I don't know. It's gonna definitely come down to execution in this next team fight, if there even is one in the next couple minutes. Because it looks like going back to farming here, content to farm. You got a cheese up on Chu here on the Faceless Void, 5.6k gold right now, and he's gonna be looking for another item. He's probably gonna look to sell that Midas relatively soon. I mean, he's level 22 already. Maybe he wants to hang on to it till he's level 25. I don't know. Obviously, he's got a slot to fill.
Yeah. Right now, I think the farm priority has to go to Winter and to Johnny. Getting the refresher orbs up on the Omni Knight and up on the Enigma are the way to win this hyper late game. So they need to actually see him farming some creeps right now. Winter only has 85 CS. From an off-lane point of view, it's fine if you just want to keep fighting, but the game has gone beyond that, and now he needs to pick up that next big item. So selling Magic Wand for the refresher orb, he needs gold to back that up, and the fact that all these quote-unquote cores are farming is actually setting back their potential to go for the fights. I really think that the end-all be-all here is going to be the second Guardian Angel, not the first.
Yeah, it looks like Enigma is farming the lane instead of Winter, and Enigma with a cloak. I mean, you're going pipe right now. Is a pipe going to save you from a Divine Rapier? I would say probably not.
Yeah, I hope he sells that for something else, because that's not going to be really valuable. It helps right now for stopping pickoffs, but it's not a very good long-term plan. What happened to the gem as well? They lost it earlier, and it is now...
It's old Shagasaurus.
Yeah, Shagasaurus has one. I believe that's... Yeah, that was purchased by their own side. And the other one might be in base or something.
Check the bases. It's on the courier here. Sharky has his gem on their own courier, so Johnny's Revenge keeping that. They're grouped up as 5, then the bottom lane they will smoke. And they are heading towards the danger zone right now. That Divine Rapier on Ysera. And he did also pick up a Lincoln, so Lincoln's BKB coming out after that Aegis expired. So really, again, going doubly defensive. There you go, Shagasaurus will break this BKB out. Primal split as well here, trying to bring down the Tombstone, and the Necro unit's also going to fall, so mana aplenty right now for Chibi. BKB was used there, though, on the Wraith King. That was the 10-second charge for basically nothing. Shagasaurus will even live, and now they're going to be forced to back off, and might come down to
Johnny's
Roshan
so patient, though. Look at his positioning. Johnny right here in the tree line. He was smoked up. He's hiding out. He wants to find the opening. In this case, they don't have any vision, so now he's just fearing for his life, but... all the same, like, he was ready to jump in with this very interesting positioning. Ysera? Oh, does he find him? Does he seriously? Okay, the blink. So close, but he can BOT away in the trees here safely.
Still a pretty close call there, yeah. Alright, he will get away. No lives will be lost on this day. Roshan, well, it's another long one, man. 10:30.
Seriously. Check the graphs, though. After all this time, 53 minutes, and this game is dead fucking even. This is absolutely absurd. This is one of the best SCA Dota games that I've been able to cast as far as just the proximity of the matchup, how close they are in general terms. We do see the butterfly coming on Faceless Void. Faster attack speed means more mana burn, but of course also means he's evading right clicks, he's hitting hard, and yeah, he is pretty much a carry himself. Like, obviously he's a carry hero, but so far he's been playing utility with the Manta, with the Diffusal. Now he's really right-clicking hard, so...
yeah, maybe we'll see the MKB come out next after he uses up this cheese, just so he doesn't have to worry too much about that brew anymore. And even if he gets Manta, I guess you don't want to give up the stats, but could honestly replace the Manta with an MKB and then maybe get another slot in that cheese.
It's worth noting that Hex does negate evasion. You don't even have to MKB to hit a target in that circumstance.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't have Sheep 6. They only have the Shadow Shaman Hex, and that only lasts 3.5 seconds. Still a lifetime in terms of late game damage output.
Still won't disable
that's a couple crits, but even still, you have to be very cautious about approaching him and relying on RNG to bring him down when there are so many high priority targets. Right now, you got to take Rubik out so he doesn't steal black holes. You got to take Ember out because he's got the rapier. This is an intense fucking game, man.
Yeah, and as a result, both teams pretty scared knowing that that next team fight could very well be the last. Checking the buyback status pretty quickly here, we see that heroes without buyback are Ember, which is a pretty big deal, I would say, and he's far from it as well. 1,800 gold. 500 gold away is the Skywrath, and then you've got also the Omni Knight and the Shadow Shaman without it. But here we go. Couriers aplenty for the Dire Squad. They bought and upgraded another one just to scout out the Roshan here. The timing for now that it is random, something you will see happen. And oh, Wraith King's in here. He's going for this, but all around the pit are the enemies. They will jump in. BKB, but the Chrono will go out. Guardian Angel's now going to keep him alive. The Necrobooks run straight into the Chrono, and well, the Chrono is wasted. Everyone's still alive. They're trying to chase him back. Chu's going to BKB just to retreat. They will maybe get Chegosaurus, but the Force Staff's doing a lot of work here, trying to keep him alive. Ember Spear jumping into this now and then quickly. Okay, there he goes, taking out some of these Brewlings. And oh, Polosin's going to be in some trouble here. Oh, the black hole, though, coming down. Ember's not in it, however. Serpent Ward's going to be dropped. This could be the end of Chu, and no, it will not be the end of Chu and Stegosaurus. A lift there from Insidious will cancel that out. Chibi coming in, though. Another black hole. Oh, it's a stolen one, though, from Insidious on the Rubik. Ysera with a double kill. 4 down for Johnny's Revenge. 3 with the buyback, so it's not the end of the game, but the end is potentially
with this Roshan might as well
pretty
be
near. Yeah, with this Roshan, another Aegis up onto that Ember.
The buybacks first. Right now they're
going to even care.
The tier 3s force the buybacks and decide if they want to fight or if they just want to get that Aegis. Either way, they just got a huge win there. Polosan, a critical error with moving forward with all 3 of the Brewlings, and he just gets picked off. Enigma's forced to move forward. Gets a good Midnight Pulse Black Hole, but it's not enough. The Guardian Angel was also really early. Just they're crumbling right now. They're on tilt at this midnight hour. This is very dire indeed.
I mean, why even back right now? There's no Primal Split, there's no Black Hole. What are they going to do? Chibi pops his BKB, and he is pretty scary. Hits pretty hard. Brings down the Tombstone. He tries to solder up the Tombstone, but it's about 1 second too late. And old Tower sitting on 17 HP. They're getting a little scared. The Skywrath is not here. I don't know how much the Skywrath matters at this point, but they take down the tier 3 tower, and Wraith King is sitting on about, after an armlet toggle, like 20 HP. But they hold with those buybacks. 3 expensive buybacks of this portion of the game, and an Ag Scepter coming out for the Undying. This Ag Scepter plus the way this Flesh Golem ult works, which is a lot of words and a whole lot of scaling of parts. That is basically going to help this rapier damage a lot.
Yeah, but they left the Roche. They went for the tier 3. They forced buybacks, but they didn't get the Roche. And Polosan's right in the pit. Chibi's going to be there too. And Insidious, I don't know it. They have to get this Chronosphere perfectly on point. Is there another smoke? I don't see it. It doesn't look like it. They just have to go in man mode. With Chu on the front lines. This is the time for the Chrono, but the Roche is about gone. Aegis and Cheese go to Johnny's Revenge.
It's going to be big immortality for Polosan right now. Stegosaurus now some trouble. Chibi going to jump right on him, but here is the Chrono. Midnight Pulse standing in it. Guardian Angel is available. Winter not even going to worry about throwing it. We'll throw it now. I think it just came off a cooldown near the end of that, though. It wasn't quite available. The Hex out onto Chu. They've lost 2. The supporting cast is diminished a little bit here. They lose the Undying, and they lose the Skywrath. She's on the deck.
They want to try to push it in now. With the Cheese, they immediately pop it. This is insane, man. Game is absolutely absurd. Winter was in that Chronosphere, actually, and they could have actually focused him down, perhaps, but there were some disables coming out. It was only the Faceless Void with the full time to right-click, and that's decently tanky. 15 armor, 2k. It would have been a tough kill, but I think it could have happened. In either case, he tunnel visions on who is right in front of him, and in the end, they get the Guardian Angel off. It will be back off cooldown in 100 seconds, but for now, the big cooldown reducer is the Refresh Orb on Johnny. They force the buyback on the Undying. Skywrath's still in the grave for a little bit, but I don't know if they can force this against an Ember Spirit. Great in base defense. Not as great in Siege, but in base defense, he's cleaving like a madman, and they still don't have that GAs. Still, double black hole. You can't count it out. He's got 1,700 mana. That means they can go literally for BKB, Midnight Pulse, Black Hole, refresh, BKB, Midnight Pulse, Black Hole. And you can literally kill everybody in the game. Even an anti-mage can't survive through that with all his magic resistance from that universal damage.
Yeah, Rubik might have to say something about that, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you can still steal through all of that. Going to be casting a lot of spells. He's already done it once this game. We finally saw it. It took about 55 minutes or so for Insidious to get his hands on that black hole, but when he did, it was a big one. Forced out 3 buybacks, pushed this game to the brink. But even after that, Johnny's Revenge, the buybacks, they stopped the push. They will get the Roche. The cheese is... They use the cheese right away.
They used it on the right.
Yeah, yeah. Pelosin, though, still holding on to that Aegis. So now... he can Primal Split up, he can be pretty annoying, and if they bring him down, well, it's not too big of a deal. He'll still go ahead and respawn, I guess, from where the Earth Panda location is when he dies with the Aegis, if he dies in the Brewlings.
Right. Insidious C has a BKB and a black hole available, but only for about 30 more seconds. They want to make use of it, but I don't see the opening. It's actually underrated, but Smoke Deceit is immense at this point in the game. If they could just find one pickoff with Sky's Smoke, this would be huge, but Map Vision is still very prominent for Johnny's Revenge. They'll notice them missing, and they'll probably just turtle up in the base. In either case, this is the time frame where they just have to wait out the black hole, maybe even having timed the spell steal, at least have timed their own, which is about the same time. So, in either case, Insidious C, he doesn't go for the blink, he actually buys out for the BKB, and that means there are only 3 buybacks on the field, but 2 in the cores of Insidious Idol.
Yeah, I know. It went from basically everybody with buybacks except for a few, and now only 3 left with buyback. Ember and Void, the most important ones with buyback available right now for Insidious. Omni Knight Winter, the only one with buyback, as he's... again, they never gave him that farm priority. Refresher earlier could maybe have made all the difference, well, earlier this game. Instead, he's still sitting on the Blink Vlad's and Aghanim's Scepter, but Guardian Angel came off a cooldown a little while ago, and... oh, Johnny's in a bit of a tight spot right now. He's up in the tree line. Oh, he blinks actually even closer to them.
But at least the side of fist doesn't connect.
Careful.
This is so awkward. This is like game decidingly close if Enigma falls here, but they just don't see it. They know something's up, but they just don't know where.
Did a smoke break or something? Or
no, they
just
still have their
break into the
smoke.
trees?
They must have seen him up here. They don't. They still have their smoke.
Look at these courier strats. 2 couriers, 2 gems, 2 TPs in the Dire Fountain right there for Johnny's Revenge. There's another courier in someone's stash. It's in Ysera's stash. He's got a courier
Here,
flank
Pulse
courier.
on. Here we go.
Alright. Oh, Cho going to be forced to jump away. This is the Brewling starting to initiate. The Midnight Pulse comes out. JLB. Johnny going to reveal himself. Hide back into that tree line looking for Ysera. They're in a bit of a standoff right now. Sleight of Fist will catch on, but the team fight breaks out on the other end of things. And it's going to be Chu who's chopped down immediately. Buyback available. It wasn't even a chrono that fight. Now the black hole onto Ysera. He's got the refresh BKB. Can they do everything? Trying to get away here. He will jaunt up and start to TP. Can he blink over in time to cancel this? No. The Rapier will go back to the base along with Ysera, and he's still alive and fighting. Brewlings. Oh, that's a Rubik. He stole the ultimate, but at this point in the game, that's like a low-impact steal.
I suppose so. I mean, the tornado could be really impactful, but yeah, the boulder stun is short. The damage output isn't enough, and I don't know. At least he's micro.
And you can't steal Black Hole if you're in the Pandas.
True. That's also a lot of time off the field. It's nice to be kind of invulnerable, at least splitting among 3 targets, but you don't get to just spam out that spell steal on that 5-second CD. Anyways, he still has the 10-second BKB. He really needs a big steal here. They don't want to face this Void buyback, but it looks like they might have to.
It's been the Insidious C show for most of this game, and they're going to need him once more if Insidious Idol wants to win this game. Pelosin will jump in, still does have that Aegis available. I don't think for much longer, though. Chrono will go off right now onto Winter. Guardian Angel was already used, and Winter will be chopped down. Tier 3 tower has taken a fall up here in this top lane. Pelosin still fighting for his life. Again, the Aegis, it's going to be put to use. Where's Wraith King, though? He's fallen back. He's got the Lightning Shield on, but he's been forced out of the base, forced out of the team fight, and Pelosin is not going to be able to get out of this one. He's got that Shiva's Guard up and running now, too. He BKB's up, trying to run, but it's honestly just a waste of that BKB charge. It was a 10-second one, too. It doesn't matter too much. Oh, no. He will get the ultimate off. There's a double damage in the top rune spawn being pulled out by both these teams. And now Enigma Johnny jumping in with the black hole. Shagasaurus, not a very high priority target there, and they don't even kill a Member Spirit now with that Rapier. Still providing a lot of damage. Now Johnny silenced up, forced out, forcing to run away. Tries the TP with these boots of travel. Worth a shot, and he will be sent back to the fountain in a casket.
Yeah.
3 buybacks still available for Johnny's Revenge.
The Enigma will have Refresher Orb up in about 45 seconds, so they might be able to hold this, but they're in such a bad position now. Enigma was waiting that whole time. He saw a 3-man Black Hole available. Inside is a Midnight Pulse that would have been dealing tons of damage, but Chibi was so low HP, and more importantly, the Rubik was outside. So the Rubik could always just steal the Black Hole, as we now see is available for him, and that is such a big steal for Insidious. He'll hold on to this all day until he finds the opportunity.
Quick, build a refresher, Insidious. Well, I think win or lose, we might know who our MVP this game is going to be. I think it's very well Insidious-y, but especially if they win on the back of this Rubik play. 8-5 and 13. It's been a while since he's netted another kill, but he's got some assists. He stole one big Black Hole that almost ended the game. At least took away this tier 3 tower, but even after that, we saw the Roche secured, and finally, no, that's just the 8-minute mark. We don't know how long this Roche is going to be just yet. Yeah. And so far we've had 10:50, 10:30, and 10:30 as our Roche times. Very, very long. Roshan clearly taking his time today. He wants to watch this game, man. Roshan, that's what he's up to.
A lot of entertainment to be had, but we do see the Invisible Wraith King moving about, very dangerous. Skywrath Mage's one with the gem, and yeah, it could be his death easily, but Pulson's the one to jump in. They try to man mode this, but Enigma has a really hard time.
Rubik is dead! No buyback. Chibi with that invis from the backside. Pelosin starts a bit of a distraction, and then Chibi just pounces onto Insidious and brings him down. Now Shakosaurus, no way he's living through this one. He will throw out what appears to be a Ghost Scepter, but more important things happening over here. The Chrono out, but a Guardian Angel, nice, the bashes. Look how much damage the magic just from Chu does. That really highlights the power of the Void is not in his damage. It's in that time lock inside the Chrono. Incredible. But
he
it's still
he got the diffusal blade off on him.
Oh, he had purged, okay.
Through, but he
Makes
didn't
more
finish
sense.
the job. One right
Seemed
click
like
away from finishing off the Wraith King without reincarnate, but he lives, and now it looks like Z-Red will be falling here. So close. The Shivas connects though, and yeah, he is gone. Down for the count. This is so bloody and so freaking close, man. This game is absolutely insane. Like, I'm literally spectating it almost entirely zoomed out because the fights are all
yeah,
over the place.
They're sprawling.
Like, the fact that they couldn't group up against the Black Hole is the reason for this, and also the Chronosphere. Like, they want the fight to be slowed up, so they're taking the fights, and they're getting all these little 1v1s, 2v2s, and so on and so forth. They're getting all these little clashes. But, again, like you said, the Roche respawn not coming through all that quickly.
What is it this time?
It's still early compared to the other ones, but it's still above half the timer. So they're going to wait it out. 40 seconds remain. Sharky, he needs to know when this Roche spawns. They need something in this pit. TP scrolls just littering the ground at this point. Like,
can we just, yeah, I was about to say, I've never seen so many TP scrolls. And look at the dire fountain right now. There's just 3 gems popped down. They've almost got a gem per hero. Looking over at the Radiant, they've got a Black King Bar on the ground, a Daedalus on a courier, a TP on another courier, double couriers for the Ember. Just in case he loses this Divine Rapier, he's got 6k gold and another Daedalus waiting on the courier in case he loses it. And even then, like, he's still got solid damage. The Divine is not nearly as good in the hands of anyone on Johnny's Revenge. Wraith King, of course, is going to just chop people in half. But that's still just one target. He does finish up that Abyssal Blade. He does go for the Boots of Travel and the BKB. So basically all the items we highlighted however long ago, Chibi has gone for. So good choices there. Again, very defensive with this Lincoln Sphere on the side of the Ember Spirit. And even though the team fights recently have been in favor of Johnny's Revenge, they have not been able to kill Ysera. And with this 4th Roshan here, with another Aegis, with another Cheese, that might just be enough. They might not even have to kill Ysera, or at least they can make sure he's the only one left alive, and if he shows up, they can bring him down.
I really feel like Idol could have been contesting these Roshans. At least the previous one, most definitely, but this one here, like, they're just giving it away. They're so afraid of that Refresher Enigma. They know its potential. They know what Johnny can do with this, and they realize that if they get caught inside his full combo, the game is literally over. Buybacks are in reserve. The Aegis is up on the Brewmaster here. Cheese went over to the Shadow Shaman. The number 5 is picking up his Ag Scepter.
I think he's just holding it.
He's gotten to the big leagues here, and he is really wanting to actually make a real impact on this game. He's level 18, so I think everybody's, 18 plus at the very least. And the only thing of note is the last tower falling.
Adults only Dota, 18 plus.
There you go.
Sorry, I had to.
But yeah, Ysera picked up the Lincoln Sphere a long time ago, so although the Abyssal Blade was, I think, the best pickup when we were talking about it, now it might not be as relevant because it's literally the only thing that'll go through his BKB, but he has that Lincoln Sphere, and that should be enough.
Yeah, and it's not even about the Abyssal stun at this point, it's about the Black Hole on a couple targets. The Abyssal will be nice. I mean, Lincolns can be popped, obviously, by the Hex, by the Shackle. I think Aethershock should pop it as well. I'm actually unsure of that, but yeah, I mean, they've got the lockdown potential for Ysera. Ysera, though, I mean, the fact that Insidious Idol have been losing the team fights is because Ysera's been off on the tree line, you know, being herded away by somebody, by the thread of the black hole. Was even black holed solo that one time, and now the big refresher comes out. Double the watermelons here. Refresher black hole, refresher Guardians, Angels, twice duration now on the Guardian's Angel. Assuming he can get them both off, assuming Rubik doesn't steal one, but I think Rubik is looking pretty much only for the black hole at this point.
This is a game-winning pickup right here. As long as Winter stays away from the fight, he can just globally use 2 Guardian Angels. That's 20 seconds of invulnerability. May consider overlapping them in case, obviously, the Faceless Void's going to be looking for a Purge. By the way, he's holding 2 BKBs right now, a 4-second one and a 10-second one, in case it's a small skirmish or a big one, because you obviously, the cooldown is longer on the 10-second one. But anyways, yeah, this is just getting down to the wire insane. But they need more defusals. That's the only answer I have, is side of Insidious Idol need more defusals because 6 Divine Rapiers wouldn't allow Ember Spirit to kill this team now. Winter can just stay back. He can guarantee great usage of the ultimates and Aghanim Scepter plus Refresh Orb. This is late game Dota, and this is almost unstoppable. Like, obviously, you can try to go for some cool BOT rat plays, try to catch enemies where they can't TP back home, but in general, right now, Enigma just needs a half-decent black hole, and Winter needs to make sure he gets both his ultis off. That said, he bought out for it. If there was an Insidious-style smoke play coming anytime soon, 30 seconds on the restock, they could actually maybe kill him off and try to all-in it from there, but despite having the carries, Winter is the carry above them all.
Indeed, sometimes the utility is strong, and when your utility is an Omni Knight with an Axe Refresher, it is extremely strong. He actually was maybe even a little short on it because he lost his Vlads. He sold that, and he just purchased up the Refresher, realizing how important it is. He's not saving for buyback at this point. There's not many buybacks in this game, to be honest. Ysera has one in case he loses that Rapier, and he's actually going for the double crit right now. Will just drop that 4-second BKB he was holding on to completely, realizing if he gets caught in a chrono, he's dead regardless.
Actually, an 8-second one, so that's pretty huge. Like you said, there are a lot of ways to cancel out the Lincoln Sphere. I was always going on the assumption that he'd be magic immune for the important part of the fight, but in this case here, it's not true anymore. The Lincoln Sphere, it'll stop the Abyssal, but there are so many ways to take it off, and that's a very real problem. Mischance can plague him with the Drunken Haze, perhaps. It's a very awkward position for him to be in. Shakasaurus getting stunned out on the bottom lane. A pretty huge pick off. He will be able to... No, not buy back.
Buyback. The only one is Ysera for the Insidious Idol here. Johnny's Revenge, they've got 3. They've got Brew, they've got Wraith King, and they've got Enigma, all with buyback right now. And, well, no one should die if Winter can say anything about it. It's global, too. Like, he doesn't need to be anywhere on the map. And Sharky's trying to wrap Dota a little bit. He will actually pop the cheese for this. He was maybe holding it for somebody, but he pops it because it buys space. And in the bottom lane now, the tier 3 tower's fallen. We've stolen Primal Split, but I don't like this because he can't steal spells while he's inside of it. You have an Ags, you've got a 4-second cooldown spell steal. Chibi could be in some trouble. Chu wants to drop a Chrono. Ysera coming in now, clicking away on Chibi. That's the Reincarnate. Like one of the first Reincarnates we've seen in about an hour, and now this goes off. But the Guardian Angel will come in, and it's purged off immediately. The damage going through to Chibi, and he will drop. He has buyback available. Belosin will turn around, take down the Rax right now. Then up top, we've also got that Shadow Shaman who never died, buying a lot of time. Now another Guardian Angel's going out. Oh, Enigma coming in with the big black hole. He's going to grab 2 here. Ysera's not in it. It will be canceled. No, it's going to be stolen for a brief moment by the Rubik, but he will fall afterwards. So Rubik will get the steal off. But yeah, now the black hole is still available, and we see the Rax. It was cleaned up in the top lane by the Serpent Wards. They got the Rax in the bottom lane. Pelosin just basically making space at this point, and it's that Guardian's Angel. It's the Mega Creeps right now, and that looks to be the game. Happy face from Pelosin there in the alt chat right now.
I have
some buybacks available.
Happy face in my life, but there it is. Holy shit!
What was game? He's happy. You can't deny his happiness. Nice Daedalus. Dang. All chat warrior.
I think he might have like killed it or something. No, he's still back on his own person. He keeps on swapping his items. But Bethel getting stunned out here. This is their last stand. They have to hold this, but every person they kill is just gonna come right back to it. The buybacks are there. This is really down to it. Like, obviously, there's still huge advantage for JR, but they could throw it. They don't have a buyback on the Wraith King, and Chibi is out on his own. If they got, like, a Chronosphere on him, this would be huge, but he's currently repelled. He will run for the
can
hills,
BKB
run
TP.
for his life. The
Oh,
concussive
Chrono's
shot
there.
will be blinked, but still connects long term. They will get the searing chains. They will get the chrono. Chibi is gonna die back if they just drop the chrono on him, but they want Winter too. They can't have their cake and eat it too. They have to pick one. Chibi, the blink, he goes onto
He
zero.
wants kills.
Jumping on him. He tries to go for the TB, but there's the searing shades. He can't get out. He will die back. Down, but not out yet with the reincarnate alive and the base being destroyed. At this very moment, finally Chibi falls 99 seconds in the grave with no buyback, but the base is pushed in. Mass Serpent Ward Wars going down. Tier 4 is dropping, and the throne is exposed. But for a moment, the hard carry, the Wraith King, is down. And Insidious Idol are technically still in this. I mean, they have a hero that can certainly deal with the mega creeps. Ysera just
Indeed.
leaving away, but so much threat when Enigma gets their refresher back up.
I don't know if Chibi thought that through because they still had to kill him, right? I guess they could have just whittled away his mana, keep attacking him,
But, you know.
so he won't reincarnate. But he used his Boots of Travel, and then they kill him. If he had a Boots of Travel, then he still could have just BKB TP'd out. I don't know. It was probably wasn't gonna live, but I don't know if he took the best course of action possible. And at the end of the day, it's really not gonna matter. 50 seconds. I don't see them mobilizing out of the base too quickly here against the Mega Creeps. Ysera, I mean, obviously the most mobile hero, fantastic to defend, fantastic hero to have in this situation, because you got the Remnants, you got the Boots of Travel, you can be everywhere at once, essentially, while the rest of your team pushes up the mid lane. But if you're not there at the start of the fight, and he still does have that Divine Rapier, has not died since he got it, 10-1 and 14. 38-38 is the score line. Grass, essentially, for a 75-minute game, dead even, and who would have thought we'd be getting one of the best Dota games, potentially of the week today? Starladder, Southeast
This
Asia.
is making my year. This
There's
is
a lot of Dota, so I don't
joke
know.
about better than TI4 finals. This is fucking incredible.
Wow.
And yeah, we see Diffusal Blade is out of charges for the Faceless Void. He buys up a Blink Dagger, so he's not going to be able to rebuy the full Diffusal. This is not something you can just buy a recipe of and refuel it.
We talked about that yesterday.
You have to buy the full Diffusal to get charged up
actually
again, which
really
means
big.
Guardian Angel is like Imba. Like, there is no way to stop the Guardian Angel. And with that,
omnipotent.
Winter just living is enough for them to win the game. Pretty much, they can just right-click the throne with 2 Guardian Angels, and only the Chronosphere is going to stop it, and even then, it seems it might fall short. So now Faceless Void goes for the Blink Dagger for the faster initiation, the faster speed, but I don't know. There's a lot of items that you got to talk about here. The Ember Spirit's still holding onto his Linken's when supports should technically be buying the Linken's to put the buff on him while he goes for the BKB or for another Rapier. That's,
that'd be big.
I think, a fair point and a fair situation. I don't know. This game is just insane. I'm like, it's blowing my mind. The possibility of Faceless Void going for Refresh Orb is pretty huge too, but he needs that Diffusal Blade refueled first, and my gosh,
That's the biggest
this is
thing
not
in my
just
mind.
late game Dota. This is hyper late game. This is the end.
This is uncharted territory almost.
Exactly.
It very rarely gets this late. There's some interesting decisions to be made, and a whole lot of them. Another Aegis of the Immortal over onto Pelosin here. I think he's finished up a Sheep Sticker. He's very close to it. He had another Ultimate Orb. What did he turn it into?
He's letting Sharky hold on to his ultimate orb for
Oh, is that okay?
whatever
nice.
reason.
One courier. I mean, you already have 2. You might as well make your hero one of them. Those gems still down in the base. 3 gems there. 2 couriers on both sides. BKBs aplenty in the Radiant Fountain here. Sharky looking to backdoor anywhere he can with these Serpent Wards. He's got 3,000 gold. Another cheese, which honestly, the cheese on the Shadow Shaman turned out to be a really big play because it bought a lot of time. Double Divine Rapier now coming out.
What's he drop?
This is the moment of truth for Ysera.
If you use the Linken's buff on yourself, can you drop the Linken's on the ground and still keep it for the duration? I know it's short. It's only.
I think we're gonna find out. He's just gonna go ahead and get rid of the
Daedalus.
Daedalus. He's going for the double rapier here.
Oh boy.
About 900
400
damage
HP
there.
on a 15 armor throne. Third of that nullified by the AC. Damn, this is one intense game, but I think it's coming to a close. With both Refresher ultimates, the Guardian Angels and the
10
Black
second
Holes,
BKB on Chibi.
it would have to be the best Chronosphere and best spell steals you've ever seen in your life to actually hold the throne. Johnny
I mean, with
Cement
the
pitching in.
Diffusal Blade's the biggest thing. With no charges, if Chu can't kill anybody, then you can't win the team fight. And we know that Ysera can't do any damage with 20 seconds of Guardian Angel, which is available right now. And Chibi just jumps in. Skywrath was there. He will disappear quickly into the graveyard. Same thing gonna go with the Undying. You can't kill his dead, except when you do. And the Chronosphere way off. Oh, we'll pretend we didn't see that one. We don't even want to see it. Then the game ends. Alright. So that looked like a PGG Chronosphere to me.
Like you said, it didn't make a difference. You can't kill somebody without catching Winter. And the Guardian Angels were too good. Omni Knight, the best fucking light game hero in the entire game, unless you have like 3 Diffusal Blades. And here you go, Winter, taking the Cloud9 strat, putting it to use immediately. And you gotta imagine how tired this guy is at the end. Like, he can barely push the R button. He's been casting all day. He just had an hour and 18-minute fucking game, and what a game it was. A pleasure to cast it with you, man. Shout out to Starladder for this group stage of SCA Dota that brings us some amazing stuff, and of course Beyond the Summit for allowing us to cast this. This was awesome.
It really was, and thanks for everyone turning out here. It's been a pleasure to cast for you. Blaze is going to continue on through the day, but before I go, I'm Helium. You can follow me on Twitter or Twitch at HeliumBrella if you enjoyed the cast. Hopefully you did. You definitely enjoyed the game. If you didn't enjoy the cast, you'll be pleased to hear that I'm done for the day. Who are you casting with for Starladder Europe?
Right now, the current state of affairs is that the first of the 2 games for Starladder Europe is going to be locally recorded because this game went on so long and
so late.
Starladder loves its schedule, so they weren't able to push it back far enough. The current game, the first game of the day, is going on right now, and Ziori's just locally recording that rather than the streaming. And then I'll be joining him for game number 2, and then both will be uploaded to the YouTube channels a little bit later today. So you got maybe 45 minutes for the second game of Starladder Europe, which is going to be X Game versus KPG, and that's going to be Ziori and I covering that one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, Helium Umbrella, Blaze Casting, Beyond the Summit. Love you guys. Love this game.